So when it comes to the UK, you must admit we're going pretty all in on the anti-plastic agenda. Like just everywhere that you look, you're seeing a reduction in plastic. But I gotta tell you, I've just seen this tweet from Paz49. And he, honestly, the man's known for making good points. But this one, it's gotta be one of his best. Because as you can see on screen, and I'll let you read that top bit, he's basically arguing, and fair point to the fella as well, he's basically arguing that the amount of reduction in plastic that we've seen in Tesco and Morrison's and Asda, and places like that, whilst they're going to put these security tags on pretty much all of the items. Like, you must admit, like, especially weight-wise as well, like how much these individual caps weigh. Like these plastic caps that are on the Red Bull here. Like, really is crazy. It's just a ton of plastic. But they're going to sit there, and like Paz rightly points out, they're going to sit there and charge you for plastic bags, whilst they're putting items like this in, like, what, like plastic containers? And you must admit, like I said earlier on, the amount of weight in, like, I guarantee you, I'm not one for making predictions, other than the one that I was absolutely correct on last week with Maya Tusi. But I'm not one for making predictions. But I guarantee you that this case, it weighs far more than the plastic in the packaging. And that's why I really got to give the credit to Paz here as well. It really is something that doesn't really get talked about much. And there's going to be some people in the comments as well. I mean, maybe not. I mean, we got quite a decent community here, to be fair. But one of the counter arguments that you could make is they could say, oh, well, you like, once they've bought the plastic and once they've made it into the security tag, you could say, I mean, technically you could say that, like, once they can reuse it again, then it's not really causing any emissions. But I gotta show you this photo on screen here. That is absolutely disgusting. Like, honestly, make no mistake. That is mold. Or, like, cheese or something like that. Maybe that's even worse. But that is absolutely disgusting. Like, you imagine that. Like, what was, like, 15, 16 pounds? Something like that. And the bit that you pour out of is just next to this. And the way mold works as well, I don't want to get too technical, but it's like an oxygen environment. So when it's locked in this plastic here, it's just going to grow and it's just going to spread. And if you're unlucky, it might even start going into the seam like you can just about make here. Because it's only connected on what, like 4 or 5 points in this seam. I don't want to sound like an alcoholic here, fella. But from prior experience, once or twice, I've noticed that they've only got like 4 or 5 bits where it's connected. So you could technically say that this mold is going to get... I don't want to get CSI on you. I don't want to start turning into a detective. But you must admit, it's going to get in there some way, shape or form. But going back to Paz as well with this point here, the way that they're going to charge you for plastic bags, but they're going to, like, I guarantee you, I know I've made some guarantees in this video, but I guarantee you that this weighs more than a plastic bag. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I usually do Tesco deliveries, or sometimes I get Asda. And 9 times out of 10, like, they do leave these tags on. Not the Red Bull, but I've had tags like this. Or, to be fair, bringing this one up again, I've also had tags like this left on. And I might actually weigh them. Like, next time they've got the van, I'm just going to ask them if I can bring it into the kitchen and just weigh it. They're probably going to ask why. But I'll just say it's for research purposes. And then I'll weigh a plastic bag. But you must admit, this weighs far more than any plastic bag. But I guess it just goes to show that this
country has gone crazy.